Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be reviewing all the new buffs and changes that came to North America last night / this morning. So, the big noteworthy buffs and evolution changes are to the Cottons and the Nays, as well as new Ryunee, Sylvie, as well as being teased about this Great Witch rared machine. So, the Cottons and Nays are all now able to be limit broken and thus super awoken, which means they have significantly higher weighted stats. And for the Cottons, they gain the chance at acquiring a 7 combo awakening, which brings them to a total of 3 7 combos, full bind immunity, follow up attack, and recover bind all in one beautiful lolly. So pretty incredible card for the most part. And I'm going to be talking a bit more detail about them in a moment. As well as there's our Mega Awoken evolutions for Ryunee and Sylvie, which gives them a little more strength and viability, but most notably Ryunee because she can capitalize on certain specific subs. Furthermore, there is going to be this Great Witch rare machine, which is one of the most exciting things I've seen thus far. It looks like it's going to be a North American exclusive event because all North American players, regardless of rank or longevity playing their account, will be able to roll a special egg machine one time to acquire one of the 7-star Godfist exclusives or Great Witches, which includes Zila, Reach, Madu, Saline, and the new Vero. And I will talk about Vero a little bit as I progress through this video. So all these announcements, along with the 10-stone voice Godfest, which I did review in a previous video, the 100 free magic stones, as well as the very lucrative event, is going to make North Americans sort of feel kind of just great overall. Like, we have so many exciting and fun-filled things coming up for this next month. So this is definitely one of the kind of like best times to be playing Pad, in my opinion. Of course, if you want to see the official Gung-Ho page notes, you can click the link within my article there. And then I also link to previous articles talking about the large event and the 100 free magic stones. So, one of the more interesting aspects that came out with this patch is the voice awakenings. So, for the most part, Puzzle & Dragons has been kind of a still game in the sense that the characters are not animated, they don't talk, there's not too much interaction in that sense. But Gung-Ho has started to roll out animated cards, which is obviously nice, and now they are giving voice lines to various cards. So basically, whenever you actually tap on the voice awakening icon in like your monster box screen, or you use the active skill in a dungeon, they will say a specific voice line. Now, some players like this voice line, others may not. If you just truly don't care about these voice lines, you can go into others options system and then turn off the voices, and you'll never actually hear them. Some of the voice actors may be questionable. It may not be as thematically fitting to what you think the card would be. But one thing yet to keep in mind is that this does take up an awakening slot, but all of the cards that gained the voice awakening had their awakening shifted or shuffled around, and you didn't actually lose any strength or power. Like, they basically just had their skill boost, the time extend, or the double bind immunity condensed into the stronger form of like double skill boost, double time extend, full bind immunity. So you're not losing anything out for this update. So Cotton buffs, and these are this is going to be one of the more exciting aspects in my opinion, because the Cotton buffs are basically going to make Cotton truly amazing, because she has the ability to now gain a super awakening as well as limit breaking. So she has huge weighted stats, but she can gain a third 7 combo awakening, which means she has 8 times personal damage in solo mode. That's incredibly hard hitting. But to top all that off, she has the follow-up attack. She's fully bind immune. She now has this recover bind awakening, which means she can act as a soft bind clearer to help unbind teammates that have been bound and you don't actually want to waste active skills to unbind them. So she's gained even more utility and viability, and just makes her one of the strongest subs possible in the game. And this is great because she comes in every color, so you can evolve her to basically suit your team's needs. So she is going to be amazing. Obviously, the Super Awakening only takes effect in solo mode, but hey, even in co-op mode, you still get those extra weighted stats, which are going to make a big difference. Now, she is able to gain a Void Damage Penetration Awakening, but in my opinion, it's much stronger and better to go for the 777 combo unless you have absolutely nothing else that can use VDP, and you really need one of those. But again, a lot of players now may have other options for VDP, and just having a 777 combo Awakening card allows them to deal so much damage. And then lastly, I would want to mention is that both Cottons and Nays in their base forms gain buffs to their leader skills, so they do more damage, which means that you can make one combos and deal meaningful amounts of damage. And this can be useful for, say, like the Tri-Monster Challenge for some of the little harder dungeons that need a bit more oomph or a bit more survivability, but still want to be somewhat brainless. And they also can be used in ranking dungeons when Zeus Verse is not a viable option because of too many preemptives. Unfortunately, Nay's buffs are quite underwhelming by comparison to Cotton. Nay has always been kind of underwhelming compared to Cotton, mostly because Cotton has the follow-up attack and shorter cooldown, but Nay kind of falls even further behind. She gets the limit break, which is great for the stats, but she does not gain another 7 combo as one of her awakenings. So even though she has double TPA and in theory can outdamage Cotton with a TPA and 7 combos, it's just not going to be enough. There's no follow-up attack. It's just not as flexible of a card. You can't inherit something over top of her as easily, so it's just a little more challenging to find a truly good home for Nay that you would use her over Cotton. So that can be a little problematic. And in terms of her Super Awakenings, she can gain Void Damage Penetration, which can be quite meaningful. Again, she does have double TPA, so she can achieve quite high levels of personal damage. And her other Super Awakenings were not that great for the most part, so you might just end up running the Void Damage Penetration Super Awakening for your Nay anyways. Now we come to Mega Awoken Ryunee and Sylvie. So both Ryunee and Sylvie have this new Mega Awoken evolution, which is quite interesting. It does dramatically change the role they're fulfilling. They lose their follow-up attack, they gain more rows, they drop their Tri-Elemental Board Changer in favor of a bi-color, so their primary and secondary color, as well as orb unlocking. So you're basically kind of like the blue and green Sonias now in the sense that you have just the bi-color board changer, but you don't get the extra bind clearing, but their active skill cooldown is shorter. So a lot of players are thinking, wow, this is so weird and strange. What are Rose? Rose are so terrible. Why does she not have follow-up attack? I love my hearts. But in all honesty, when you really think about it, if you have like a deep monster box, were you really ever running Ryunee or Sylvie as a sub? The chances of you saying yes obviously go up based on your monster box if it's smaller and smaller. But for myself, I can't remember the last time I actually really ran a Sylvie or Ryunee on my team. So changing them to this new evolution does give them different kind of viability, and they are quite powerful for the most part, so it does open up new doors. And both evolutions now have the 4 times health and 196 times attack while having plus 4 seconds of orb movement time while being able to capitalize on row awakenings. So they can deal very large amounts of damage, and amusingly enough, you still like 777 combo awakening cards on your team. Like for my Ryune team, I was playing in solo mode through Altarina. When I make my row with 7+ combos, Cotton is hitting for like 40 million plus damage. It's pretty spectacular. But the problem is you have to hoard orbs. It can be problematic. And they both come with this new combo orb awakening, but I find it quite cumbersome to actually use. You have to have exactly 12 connected primary or secondary color orbs matched at the same time to gain +1 combo count orb, which can help you out in a future floor. It means you sacrifice so many combos on that given turn that I feel it's quite problematic overall. Like, it just feels like it needs work. It just consumes far too many orbs to really make it. Maybe if it was 9, maybe it could be more justifiable, and you could and maybe if you have 9 and you can extend it higher and you don't get penalized, because you match 13, you don't get the bonus, and that is quite sad in my opinion. So it can be a little awkward to come around, but at least it's there. Maybe over time they will buff it, but Ryune is a much stronger leader just because she has access to Mel and I. So Mel has 6 enhanced Heart of Awakenings, and she basically solves the RCV problem because you have only 1 times RCV, but you have like 150,000 health. When you can heal it back up with just a Heart TPA, it makes a big difference. In addition to that, I gives you 2.5 times damage and recovery for 3 turns. And she's the only card in that Pantheon that can do that, giving that recovery component. So that just gives Ryune another amazing card that Sylvie does not have. And it just makes Ryune teams actually function quite well. They're not as strong as Barbara and Julie, because Barbara and Julie can just match combos naturally and they can smash their way through, whereas Ryune has to hoard orbs, and it's challenging to hit 7 or more combos when you have to actually form a row. So she is a powerful leader. I did clear Altarina on my stream. I didn't record it, unfortunately, but it is doable to clear endgame content. So it does give players another option. And it is a new playstyle, which I kind of find interesting. It can be a little frustrating, but it is different at least. And then next for this big event that's coming out tomorrow is the Great Witch Egg Machine. So this is a North American exclusive event where all players are able to roll a special machine that will give them either Zila, Reach, Madu, Saline, or Vero. And that's pretty amazing. We're getting a 7-star Godfest exclusive for free. So if you are on a new account, you can just re-roll until you get the one you want. And if you are re-rolling, I strongly recommend getting Reach, because Reach will probably be the strongest leader for a new account, as well as being quite forgiving and easy to play. Plus, Reach also has that built-in Fujin style active skill, so it solves a lot of your problems as well moving forward in dungeons. On the other hand, more veteran players might prefer Saline for the rank experience bonus, but of course, if you're a ranked more veteran player, you can't necessarily choose the one you get. But hey, a free, powerful, and incredibly rare card is amazing. I don't have any of them on either of my accounts, so I'm hoping for either Reach or Saline, because I find those two the most valuable ones overall. And in regards to the Dark Great Witch of Vero, she is strong, but I feel like she is a little awkward overall. Like, she does have a very fast charging active skill in the sense that you can use a double orb changer, so you change 2 non-hard orbs to dark, as well as being on a 5-turn cooldown, but you also nerf your RCV. But hey, when you think about it, you're probably going to kill the floor anyways. Your healing is not necessarily your priority. But if you're using her as a leader in her evolved form, she will have 9 times RCV anyways, as well as damage reduction when you connect 6 or more dark orbs. Now, the problem is 6 or more dark orbs with the damage reduction component is problematic, because you have to stall for those dark orbs, but if you can't tank those hits because you don't have the damage reduction, it's not going to do any good having 9 times RCV. So I feel that's a little problematic. You have the RCV when you hit 5 or more combos, which is always doable, but if they had the damage reduction tied into the combo component instead, she could be such a strong leader by comparison, but unfortunately, it's not the case. So I feel she's a little bit of an awkward spot, but her base form is interesting as well. She does have follow-up attack. She has a 7 combo and 2 void damage penetration, so she can open up different avenues for VDP. But her leader skill gives you the chance to drop, and that 1.3 times chance to drop an additional egg when playing through a dungeon. Now, this sounds kind of unusual, but hey, when you're playing through Tamadra Infestation, bam, you got more Tamadras. Playing through pre-draw Infestation, bam, more pre-draws. If you are playing through a Descend where you're trying to skill up a particular card, you get an extra drop, why not? But one big usage that I've seen players use base form Vero is the Ganesha Treasure Trove, in which they drop a plus 99 shiny at the very end. And if you can double your reward, you just got 198 pluses instead of 99. You save yourself 99 stamina. Great value overall. So, in conclusion, this update is incredibly exciting. We have so many fun packed things happening on Halloween/November. We've got the 100 Magic Stones, the Great Witch event, the 10 Stone Voice Godfest, as well as incredible Palag machines, and even more exciting news coming on November 12th. So let me know what you think about all these changes in the comments below. Which Great Witch are you hoping to roll, and are you planning on actually creating an alt account to capitalize on these great goodies coming out tomorrow? Hopefully you'll have a Mantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.